37 minutes past the hour. Mark in Manhattan. Hey, Mark, what's up?
Hi, Tom. Good afternoon. I'm wondering what your take is on why there's so little skepticism about what we're being told Putin is thinking, and why everybody is simply saluting the intelligence community for managing the flow of information as if it's some strategic breakthrough. There are never any hard questions about this from the press or anybody else, it seems.
Well, I think that our intelligence community got a lot of props and a lot of bonus points or whatever, brownie points for accurately predicting absolutely everything Putin was going to do, even over the loud protests of President Zelensky, who kept saying, "No, you're scaring my people. Calm down. Stop it." And Biden kept coming out and saying, "No, our intelligence says that Putin's going to invade. He's going to invade the whole damn country." And, everybody's like, "Oh, no, he's just going to go take the Donbass." And, no, he's going to take the whole country. So I think that they got a lot of, benefit there, and that has continued. These reports that I'm seeing in the press, this is not President Biden coming out and saying, Putin is getting bad intelligence or people are afraid to tell him the truth. And it's not intelligence officials coming out and saying it. It's people in the media. And I think they're wrong. I mean, maybe there are some reports to this effect, but I just can't believe that a guy like Vladimir Putin, who's, one of the richest men in the world, has access to one of the largest and most powerful intelligence services in the world, which he worked in for 40 years, doesn't know absolutely everything that's going on, right down to the most granular level.
Tom, the government spin here is that things are going well, the war is going great, Ukraine is holding on, we're doing everything we can to help. So describing Putin as lost and out of touch is convincing in that regard, right?
It feeds into that narrative. And by the way, that's the narrative. I think this is a narrative that the media likes. And I think that the media likes this narrative because they want to move on to other things. And the whole Ukraine crisis is sucking up their time slots. And what they're finding is keep in mind, our media is profit driven. And so what they're finding is that people are getting tired. They're getting exhausted seeing, people in Ukraine dying and watching people cry on television and seeing, dead grandmas and stuff like this. I mean, there's a point where people reach fatigue. And so the media narrative now is shifting to everything's under control. Don't worry. We've got other things to talk about. Let's talk about Will Smith. I mean, that's what the media is doing right now. And they're doing it because while during the first week or two or three, Ukraine was novel and it was drawing eyeballs. It's not novel anymore. And the media wants novelty. The media want, the old, if it bleeds, it leads. They want the new hot thing, and they're looking for the new hot thing. They thought they had it with the Academy Awards. God only knows what it's going to be tomorrow. But they're trying as hard as they can to move on from talking about Ukraine and what, in my opinion, and this narrative that Putin is losing and confused and all that kind of stuff. I think that's just something that helps them with that narrative. Mark, I got to move along, but thank you for the call. Carl in Seattle. Hey, Carl, what's up?
Hi, Tom. I have a little conversation with you about organized religion and its conflicts here in the United States and also in Russia.
Uh-huh.
I was listening to a Sunday morning. I got up early one day. I was watching some TV, and the word socialism came up in one of the preachers. And I've heard that before.
Surprise!
They're kind of like saying that's kind of like the devil, the evil. This whole organized religious thing has gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that people have been picking that up. One of them's Ginny Thomas.
Yeah.
They're holy rollers. They'd rather have the world crash and burn rather than get their way.
And it's fine with me if people want to subscribe to any old wacky religion they want. They can I have no problem with that, as long as they're not trying to force it on me, and as long as they're not trying to run my government. But this is the problem: is that most of these right-wing preachers want theocracy. They want a government run by preachers. And of course, they're competing who's going to be at the top of that pile. And this goes back to Jerry Falwell and Ronald Reagan. Reagan made a deal with the devil, and in my opinion, that's Falwell. And then after Billy Graham died, his son Franklin, another grifter, just started promoting the grift. And I think it's destructive to democracy. I think it's destructive to the United States. And, I'm with you, Carl. I'm with you. Thank you very much for the call. Rich in New York City. Hey, Rich, what's up?
Hi, Tom. How you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
I agree with what you were saying about the Congress needs to declare war. But I think it really needs to be one step further, which is congressmen and senators' children must be drafted. If we're going to send children to war, to another country to die on a lie, let's send their kids too.
I'm with you,
Let's
Rich.
just not have the poor and the underprivileged go, because once they fix that in the 80s, now we can have endless war and no wealthy people's children pay the price.
I agree. We need to bring back the draft, in my opinion, and we need to do it in a way that actually benefits the American people. 1 year of service, whether in the military or in the nonprofit sector, you volunteer to work in hospitals or whatever. 1 year of service to your country that ideally takes you away from your hometown after you graduate from high school, and then in exchange for that, you get 4 years of college or trade school or some other benefit, help with buying a house. I mean, let's just bring back kind of the GI Bill sort of thing.
Exactly.
And I think that it's psychologically, one of the things that is well known, well established, is that rites of passage are almost necessary for human beings to mature properly and appropriately. And that's why we have these rites of passages. The high school graduation ceremony. We find them in our religions, confirmation in Catholicism, bar and bat mitzvahs in Judaism. There's a parallel in Islam. I forget the name for it. Every religion, every culture has these rites of passage. We can have a secular rite of passage, and we did for a while. And if you do it right, I think it could work. So, Rich, spot on. I'm with you. Charlie Rangel, and Rich, thanks for the call. Charlie Rangel, who fought in World War II, used to come on this. He's passed away now, the congressman from Harlem. He used to be on our show all the time back, a decade, 15 years ago. He was a regular, and his main thing was, we need national service in the United States. And part of that national service is informing people about the importance of government and how it works.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit thomhartmann.com.